Matthew and I do, that's kind of our tradition, go out on Christmas Eve.
All right. We will call to order the December 19th City Council meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Jackie, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor. Mayor Evans,
Here.
Vice Mayor Russell,
Here.
Mr. Mitchell,
Here.
Mr. Parrish,
Here.
Ms. Cooper,
Here.
Mr. Redmond,
Present.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Here. All right, that takes us to a special presentation tonight. I'd like to call up Larry Johnson, and he has a very nice presentation to make.
I think so, and I was hoping a couple other people would be here, but I just got notice that they are still working.
Oh, okay.
As you know, we had this chili cook-off in Milford again this year, 4th year running, and it was, without a doubt, a great success. And I want to start off by saying it couldn't happen. It couldn't be this level of success without the city's participation, and along with the city, specifically the Kiwanis Club, represented by Stephanie Hawks and Andy Evans, the American Legion, which they're not here, but Brian and Kelly Grunder, and the Masonic Lodge. We've all pulled together, and this being the 4th year, every year we've almost doubled the proceeds. We had some difficulties with donations this year, but I know, Lisa, you were there, and the turnout was phenomenal. The parking lot around the Legion, around River's Edge Park, you couldn't park a bicycle. It was really tight, and it was a great time. We had judges from Columbus, Secretary of State Frank LaRose was down, several sports figures, Mike Castrucci, Lisa, who, can't think of names now, just like that. It's how we get old. But anyway, we had a great turnout. I think a total of about 27 judges or assistant judges, and total staff and working all this was over 40. So it was a great effort, group effort by several organizations. And to that, I want to tell you again, we almost doubled proceeds that we got last year, and all this is for the first responders community outreach program. And for that, I'd like to present a couple of checks. Stephanie, Jamie, police department, and I'm not sure who's representing the fire department.
Jimmy Nichols.
Hi. Again, you remember this from last year. She has a check for you, and I have a check for you. Each check is in the amount of $3,082. So we have $6,164 total proceeds this year. I guess in times so hard, I think that's pretty good.
I think it's really good.
That's great.
One other thing, we had, you guys just grab some of those and just pass them out. One of the ladies in the Masonic Lodge, Venus Welch, She is an unbelievable, crafty person.
Oh,
Crafty in a
thank
nice way.
you.
And she made these.
Crafty in a nice way.
Remember
Finally got me some.
Thanks.
I know Lisa already has her.
Already
She
have
was a
mine.
judge.
Yes.
Even though she wasn't a very good judge. I forgive you this time.
Very
cool.
It's kind of the main elf in so much of it.
Aw, thank you very much.
As you can see, it has a logo from the Kiwanis Club, American Legion, Masonic Lodge, and of course, the city of Milford.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank you so much for all your help and all that you do for us every day. It's funny, as we were talking about down the Legion, we go in places and people say, thank you for your service, but you know what? We all serve, and you guys serve, and I want to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
I just want to thank Larry. I know he puts, I don't know, probably hundreds of hours into this event. I know he went around town collecting donations and worked very hard to make it possible. So we really appreciate that dedication and work. You did. I know you did. So, and thanks for giving back to our first responders. We appreciate that. So thank you. All right, that takes us to proceedings. Do I have a motion to approve the special council meeting proceedings from December 5th?
So move.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
And do I have a motion to approve the regular council meeting proceedings from December 5th?
So move.
Second.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes. And that takes us to financial statements. Do we have a motion to receive the November 2023 financial report?
So move.
Second.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
And that takes us to Parks and Rec vacancies.
Thanks, Ms. Mayor. As you know, we still have 2 remaining vacancies on the Parks and Rec Commission. I'd like to recommend 2 individuals to fill those spots. First, Marley Zachary, and also Mark Ulbrich.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
All right, that takes us to public comments. Do we have anyone from the public that would like to make a comment? All right, seeing none, we will go to standing committee reports, administrative services.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Mayor. Ms. Chamberlain called the December 13th meeting to order at 4:30 p.m. Present at the meeting were Mayor Evans and Kim Chamberlain. I was absent. Staff present was City Manager Michael Doss, Chief of Police Jamie Mills, Finance Director Pat Worthland, and Executive Assistant Jackie Bain. There were no visitors. First up in the meeting proceedings, the committee approved the proceedings from the November 28th, 2023 Administrative Services Committee meeting. Ms. Evans made a motion to approve, and it was seconded by Ms. Chamberlain, all yes. First up for discussion that evening was a resolution authorizing request for advancement of taxes from the Claremont County Auditor regarding taxes due to the city during 2024. Finance Director Pat Worthland discussed how the city annually requests that the county advance real estate tax receipts and other county sources as the funds become available. This allows the city to receive these taxes more in line with as earned. Without such a request, the city would receive taxes twice a year in July and November. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft a resolution requesting the Claremont County Auditor advance payments of taxes due to the city of Milford during 2024 pursuant to section 321, spot 34 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Second.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Next up for discussion was an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Milford during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. Finance Director Pat Worthland reviewed with the committee and attached 2024 final budgeted appropriations totaling $19,640,909. This reflects a $3 million reduction to the budget book appropriations. But when netted with the changes in revenue, it will be about $1 million. This budget will be up for council approval at the December 19th council meeting. The budget is the final product of the council work sessions. The committee also reviewed an attached chart outlining changes to the original 2024 budget book. Ms. Worthland explained that the good news is that the net went down $1 million, which causes our general fund balance to go up $1.6 million. This means our reserve went from 3.8 months in reserve to now 6.8 months in reserve, which is fantastic news. We are in good shape for the $3 million water tower project, the water lines project, and our road paving project. We also have enough to oversee the $750,000 131 Lila project. Mr. Doss asked Ms. Worthland what our revenues, our expenses, what are our revenues and our expenses with all of these changes. Ms. Worthland explained that the fund balance went from about $3 million to about $4.6 million. The reserve went from 3.8 months to now 6.8 months of reserve. New revenues are about $7,149,000 to $7,151,000. Went from about $9.5 million to $8.2 million. Mr. Doss stated that we are then about $1.1 million expenses over revenue because of the transfer that will still have to be made and the projects that we have talked about that will advance to council on Tuesday. Ms. Worthland said that the net change from revenue went from $2.3 million to $3.1. A lot of the time we will forecast a deficit, but we will end up with a surplus because we didn't get to finish the project. This is reflected in the general fund actual numbers. Reviewed were the actual forecasts for 2022. In actual general fund, we had net revenues of 6.9 and net expenses of 6.4. So it ended up being a surplus budget, even though we had a forecasted, we didn't get to all of the projects. Mr. Doss asked Ms. Worthland if she typically under forecasts revenues. Ms. Worthland said that she always underestimates revenues and always overestimates expenses. For 2022, we had a surplus spending. In 2021, we had revenues of 6.7 and expenses of 5.8. It ended up being a surplus budget. In 2020, we had revenues of 6.4 and expenses of 5.5. In 2019, 5.8 in revenues and 3.9 in expenses. We have not had a deficit spend in years. Ms. Evans stated that is why we ask in committee meetings, is this in the budget and can we afford it? Ms. Worthland said those are her favorite things to ask. Mr. Doss asked about the bottom line. In the last 3 years, we have operated and we have ended the year with more revenue than expected. Ms. Worthland said, yes, we ended up with a surplus. We are in very good financial shape and she is very happy with this budget. Mr. Doss wanted to give Mr. Ralph Villardo public recognition for his attentiveness to the recently proposed 2024 budget. The committee then agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Milford during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024 in the amount of $19,640,909 as per the attached tabulation, $270,650 in changes.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Next up for discussion was an ordinance amending appropriation ordinances 2020-81, 2023-192, 2023-219, and 23-228. Finance Director Pat Worthland discussed an attached list of proposed amendments to the city's 2023 appropriations. $36 million total budget information was reviewed. These changes put the city's total 2023 budget at $36,329,106. The committee agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance amending appropriations ordinance 2022-181 2023-192, 2023-219, and 2023-228, increasing the individual items as listed on the attached tabulation totaling $270,650.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Parrish,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
Next up for discussion was an MOU with Milford School regarding school resource officer. Police Chief Jamie Mills discussed how he began the process by asking for a copy of the MOU that Miami Township has with the Milford Exempted Village School District regarding the school resource officer, or SRO, program. Chief Mills made some changes to the MOU and was approved and signed by the school superintendent and their business operations manager. It is now in the hands of Milford Police Department. The department is excited to have this position now be in effect. An officer will start training over the summer months and will begin work in the fall. This is a 12-month salary split and not a 9-month. It is a salary and benefits 50% reimbursement. The committee discussed some of the duties of the SRO. The committee then agreed to recommend that the law director draft an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with the Milford Exempted Village School District for an agreement for the SRO program.
Second.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Mr. Parrish,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Next up for discussion was 2024 Legal Service Agreement, Law Director Dinsmore and Scholl. Mr. Doss discussed a proposed Law Director Service Agreement with the committee. This would be naming Brian E. Pacheco, Dinsmore and Scholl LLP to continue to serve as the Law Director and for Dinsmore and Scholl LLP to provide legal services for the city of Milford. The terms of the new agreement will keep the same rate for the Law Director as they were for 2023, which is $265 an hour. The city fully intends to utilize the law firm for contracts with all 4 of the collective bargaining agents that will be coming up in 2024. This agreement will become effective December 19th, 2023. The committee agreed to recommend that an ordinance be drafted appointing Brian E. Pacheco of Dinsmore and Scholl to continue to serve as the law director for the city of Milford and authorizing an agreement with Dinsmore and Scholl LLP for legal services associated with the law director.
Second.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Parrish.
Yes. There being no further business, the meeting was adjourned at 5:07 PM with a motion from Ms. Chamberlain, seconded by Ms. Evans, and that was it.
Thank you very much. That takes us to the police report. Chief Mills.
Thank you. With your permission, I'd like to give my report in the form of a Christmas wish list, similar to Saturday Night Live skit.
Okay.
As you can see, my first wish would be to be promoted to a 4-star general. My second wish would be to get invited back to next year's Kroger's Cocoa with the Cops, or as I would call it, Cocoa with the Popo. My third wish would be to thank our generous donors who made Shop with a Hero possible. Our top donors were ROI Technologies with Aaron Witt, our local resident, and his business partner, the Milford Masonic Lodge, and the Milford American Legion, who we saw tonight, gave us a nice donation. Also, Mike Castrucci, By Gollies, and Main Street Social all made that event possible. We had other donors, but those were our top donors. My fourth wish would be to thank Vice Mayor Russell and council members Redmond and Mitchell for their exemplary service, excellent counsel, and unwavering support. I've enjoyed working with each of you. My fifth and final wish is for a huge turnout at the Fry fundraiser next Wednesday night for John Fry, the Deputy Chief of the Loveland Sims Fire Department, who is battling his second round with leukemia. We have a fundraiser next Wednesday night, December 27th, from 6 to 9 at the Wings and Rings in Miami Township. We will have performances by Jim Jones as Elvis, and it should be a great time. Again, hope to have a huge turnout there. And lastly, live from Milford, it's Tuesday night.
Thank you, that was perfect, Chief. Merry Christmas, thank you.
Love it.
That takes us to fire and EMS. I'm not sure if Chief Nickel can top that.
No, absolutely not. We want to thank, again, the Masonic Lodge, the American Legion, and also the Kiwanis for the nice donation this evening. Of course, that money always gets put to good use, so, and again, it's very well appreciated by all of us. Only thing is, Friday night was packed treat night. It was fun. Some of you were there. And Sunday was handout day, and the weather was nice. And again, we only had very few treats left over this year, so it was nice. So do it again next year.
All right.
That's all I have. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Merry Christmas.
Merry
It's a great
Christmas.
tradition. It is a great tradition. That takes us to council comments, and I would like to start off by, again, thanking Kyle and Sandy and Ben for your service on council. We truly appreciate your insight and thoughts on projects and issues that have come up with the city, and I hope that you continue to stay involved. I'm sure there will be some committee openings that you can always volunteer for. So again, we appreciate your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I've been on for years, and it's kind of bittersweet to realize that this is the last time I'll be sitting in this chair. But I'm very blessed to have had the opportunity to be a part of a lot of things that have come through this council, this particular council. A lot of good things have been brought to this city, and we have a lot to be proud of. This is the staff, the city staff is awesome. They really all work. They try very, very hard to all work together, and they do a good job at keeping the city running. And I'm just sad to be going, but yeah, my time is up. I never did say I was going to be a career politician, but you never know. I'm like a bad penny. I could turn up anywhere. So thank you, everybody that's supported me.
Thank you.
And I second what Vice Mayor Russell was just saying. I really appreciate the opportunity to serve the community for the last 4 years. It's been an honor to represent. It's been really an honor, too, to see how small local government is ran compared to the national scene that we all exist in. And it's been a real privilege to see how well things are going here in Milford. I wrote down some things I wanted to touch on. The first one would be just thanking Kim Chamberlain and Andrea Brady, because without them, I wouldn't have ran for council. They were hanging out on the market in spring of 2019 saying, hey, there's going to be some opportunity to go for council. Maybe you should try it. And I was interested, like I said, to learn about small government. And it was great. And, we were elected, and then we went right into COVID. What a unique experience, at least for me, my first time running to deal with this global issue. And to see the way that the leadership came together at the city was very impressive and stunning. We didn't know how it was going to go, but I think everyone agreed it went way better than we thought it would go. And the way that the city grew during that time was amazing. I'm really proud that the council, all of us together, we could get the water tower done. What a huge thing for the city that when I came on was explained to me that had been kind of just passed over previous councils because of budgeting things like we were just reading tonight. And so I'm really glad that we could do that. And I'm especially glad that the staff could take the leadership to really get that water tower funded. It's important to really emphasize that the city and the staff worked really hard to get that tower funded by the state for very little out of our city to pay for it. The park was also another thing I'm really proud of that we did. That was something that was started before my time by a previous council, but I'm glad we could take the vision that some of the other council members were a part of and all the community involvement to get it and then bring it to the ballot and get that done. So it's exciting for 2024 and Christopher and the Park and Rec Commission, what you guys are going to do to really shine that park for the community. And I finally want to just say, touching on the staff and really thanking them. We are in a position here on council where a lot of people will come up and thank us for what we've done, but I really, not to offend my colleagues, we do very little. it is really the staff that does everything for the city. The police department, the fire department, the service department, the wastewater department, the water department. Those are the people who are actually making the city amazing and making it run smoothly. And that all has to do with leadership. You know, that starts with Michael. You know, your leadership has really helped guide the city, at least what I can see from my time on here, and I really appreciate all that you've done. And your leadership then reflects down through the other leaders that you work with and talk to, and all the leaders of the departments. I just said, you know, it's really want to honor them and thank them. And a special thank you to Jackie Bain, because she makes all our lives on council real easy. Because without Jackie, it would be very difficult. So I really appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
It has been my pleasure.
Yeah, you
Your
keep us
clerk.
organized, so I appreciate it. And finally, just welcoming the new council members. Thank you guys for serving again. Ralph is here. He's coming back. He's been on council once before, so it'd be nice to have his experience here. And then Chris for staying on, and then the other two, I wish them well. And thank you guys so much for this opportunity. Really appreciate it. Oh, and Brian, let me say one more thing. He gave me a thumbs up. But, you know, it was a cool experience. There's actually 2 points I want to touch on. One recommendation, sorry. Got to take this last meeting to finally talk, right? We don't really talk much up here. It was really cool to work with Mike Manier, right? He founded the city. He was here during the founding. He wrote the charter, which I didn't even touch on, which I think every citizen should read. If you want to understand why we're doing so good, it's because of this document, the charter. It's really worth reading and checking out because it makes us very unique in the way that our government is set up here, and it's actually part of the reason we're successful. But Michael Manier needs a lot of recognition and acknowledged for that, and that was going to be my recommendation is I think this chamber should be named after him. I know personally, you know, he's very humble and he doesn't want that, but he really should have his name on these chambers because his setting this up has made it really good. And then he retired, but then we hired Brian. And Brian has been a great experience for us too to see what it's like getting him and his law firm behind the city. So really appreciate your leadership and your guidance because of the charter. Me and him have had conversations about the charter, and he really is going to do a good job to help enforce and protect the charter here at the city. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I don't think I could add anything
Kyle loves to speak in public.
I'll talk to everybody else. There you go, yeah.
All right. All right. So that takes us to new businesses. Mr. Pacheco.
Thank you.
Ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, Mayor. Ordinance number 23-646, an ordinance authorizing request for advancement of taxes from the Claremont County Auditor. Now therefore, pursuant to section 321.34 of the Ohio Revised Code, the Council of the City of Milford hereby requests the Claremont County Auditor advance payments of the taxes due to the City of Milford during 2024. Section 2, under and in accordance with sections 12.05 and 12.07 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
This is just a motion to adopt, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Russell,
Yes.
Mr. Parrish,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain.
Yes.
And then ordinance number 23-260, an ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Milford during the fiscal year ending December 31, 2024. And this, because of the charter, is also only one reading. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio, Section 1, the Council of the City of Milford hereby sets aside and appropriates for and during the fiscal year ending December 31, 2024, the sums set forth in the attachment hereto, identified as permanent appropriations and transfers for fiscal year 2024. The full text of the amendments is set forth in the attached document and fully incorporated by reference under and in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, under and in accordance with Sections 11.05 and 12.9 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance requires only one reading and shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Parrish,
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell,
Yes.
Ms. Evans,
Yes.
Ms. Russell.
Yes.
Ms. Russell, I'm going to go back to a question you made. Let's go back to 23-646. We do have to read that a second time. I apologize. So if
Oh,
you
on
could
that
read-
one?
No,
Oh.
yeah, that was my fault. I told you the wrong thing.
Okay.
On 23-646. So if you could just, we've already read it once, so let's move to adopt it now, yeah.
Okay.
So if you could move to
Move
adopt
to suspend the rules and
23-646.
read
Yeah.
to-
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Waive the second reading and to adopt, sorry.
Okay.
That motion. Now we need a second.
Second?
Perfect day to get your contract renewed. Perfect timing. You know, sometimes the timing is impeccable, and that was just perfect, Brian. Amen. Christmas. We need a second. Sorry, I think.
Someone, Christopher.
Second.
Christopher's.
just-
Thank you.
Yes, I'm definitely seconding.
Yeah. Here we go. Yes. Now we need a roll call on that too, Ms.
Okay.
Bain. Sorry.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Thank you, council. Ordinance number 23-261, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinances 2022-181, 2023-192, and 2023-219, and 2023-228. This is also one reading, and I am sure about that. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio, Section 1, the Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes the City Finance Director to amend appropriation ordinances 2021-113, 2022-129, 2022-158, and 2022-170 by increasing the individual items as set forth and listed on the chart attached hereto and fully incorporated herein as provided in Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Said amendments total $270,650. Under and in accordance, Section 2, under and in accordance with Sections 11.05 and 12.05 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance requires only one reading and shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ordinance number 23-262, an ordinance to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Milford Exempted Village School District for School Resource Officer Services. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio, Section 1. The Council of the City of Milford hereby authorizes the city manager to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Milford Exempted Village School District for School Resource Officer Services for the 2024-2025 school year. The terms and conditions of this agreement are fully incorporated by reference under and in accordance with Section 12.03 of the Milford City Charter. Section 2, under and in accordance with Sections 12.05 and 12.07 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by City Council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only.
Second.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ordinance number 23-262, an ordinance to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Milford Exempted Village School District for School Resource Officer Services.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
And given the prior performance, this one probably should be read about 10 times. Ordinance number 23-263, an ordinance appointing a law director, providing for his compensation, and declaring an emergency. And by the way, this needs to be shortened next time, but anyway. Whereas the Charter of the City of Milford provides that the law director shall be appointed by City Council, whereas under the Charter law, the law director is the legal advisor and attorney for the city, and whereas City Council sought proposals to fill the position of law director and interviewed prospective candidates for the position, and whereas City Council determined that Brian E. Pacheco, a partner with the law firm of Dinsmore and Scholl, met the requisite qualifications required under the Charter and has served as law director since September 20, 2022. And whereas council wishes to provide for the terms of the law director's continued services, including payment, and whereas Pacheco desires to serve as law director under the Charter and the terms of this ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Municipality of Milford, Ohio. Section 1. Council hereby provides for the compensation of the law director for the services outlined below, effective January 1, 2024, and ending December 31, 2024. The law director and council shall, upon mutually agreeable terms, provide for compensation after December 31, 2024 at a later time. Section 2. The law director shall be paid $265 per hour for services performed beginning on January 1, 2024 and ending on December 31, 2024. Payment shall be made on a monthly basis. The services to be performed under the basic salary provisions by the law director are as follows. Attendance at all council meetings or for such other meetings as requested by council or the manager, acting as law director as provided under the Charter, preparing legal opinions for council and the manager, attendance and prosecution in the mayor's courts if necessary, legal advisor to various boards, which would include attendance at their meetings when requested, prepares, reviews all ordinances and resolutions to come before council, reviewing and approving all contracts, deeds, leases, releases, franchises, and other legal documents entered into by the city, decides major legal questions of litigation, claims, leases, and contracts, land titles, and related legal matters, represents the city in legal matters, brings suits necessary to be instituted by the city, and defends the city in suits brought against it, and handles appellate litigation, appointing a deputy law director when necessary, civil collection of public utility collections and taxes, any litigation involving the city except mayor's courts, special tax court sessions, representation of the city before a government board or agency, and handling mayor's court appeals of Bureau of Motor Vehicle appoints appeal at municipal court. Section 3, under and in accordance with sections 12.05 and 12.07 of the Milford City Charter, this ordinance shall become effective immediately upon its passage by city council.
Move to suspend the rules and read by title only?
Second.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Ordinance number 23-263, an ordinance appointing a law director, providing for his compensation, and declaring an emergency.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Evans?
Yes.
Parrish?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell? Ms. Russell?
Yes.
Mayor, may I have just a second? I just want to echo the comments that were made by Ms. Russell and Mr. Redmond, and so eloquently backed up by Mr. Mitchell. You know, following in the footsteps of Mr. Manier is, I don't purport, nor would I try to, but I am honored to have done so. I'm also honored to have worked with this council, who I think has accomplished a lot. I have 8 of these, 7 others, and I would commend council on how it has collaborated as a team. I would commend, as Mr. Redmond said, and as Ms. Russell said as well, the city staff for how they keep the citizens' interests at heart. And I would also, again, commend this council for how collaborative and collegial it has been. It doesn't mean you agree on everything. It means you're collaborative and collegial for the city's benefit, interest and benefit at heart. And it's been my privilege and honor to serve, and I am grateful that I can continue to serve. So thank you all for the opportunity. I appreciate it very much. I'm going to miss working with you all. I look forward to working with the new council members to continue that spirit. So thank you all, and wish you all a happy holiday season and a happy new year. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes, we'd just like to wish all the city residents a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Mayor Evans?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Thank
Right, thank you all for coming.